Damn, I can't believe all this happened the night I was only 4 months old. Y2K is a brand new 2024 horror comedy directed by Kyle Mooney, starring Jaden Martell, Julian Dennison, and Rachel Ziegler. And yeah, I was only 4 months old when the whole Y2K drama was going on, so I'm not old enough to remember any of it. Um, but my dad is, and my dad did not. He wasn't one of those people who were panicking about it. So, yeah, let's talk about this completely fictionalized and ridiculous concept based around the Y2K events. So, starting off with the good, I did have a bit of fun with the characters in this movie. First of all, you got Jaden Martell, and I really like Jaden Martell as an actor. I don't see him in a whole bunch of stuff like I do with some of the other kids from the It readaptation. Specifically Finn Wolfhard and Jack Dylan Grazer. Those are the two that their careers just completely took off. But it's always fun when Jaden Martell shows up, and I thought that he had a pretty fun screen presence in this movie. It's bolstered mainly by the other characters that he's surrounded with, but I thought that he was a pretty interesting enough character. You got Rachel Zegler in this movie, and I don't think I've really seen anything with her in it. No, scratch that. She was in Shazam 2. That's the only other thing I've seen her in. And I liked her here. I thought that she was a fun screen presence. She was very charming. She was very witty. I like Rachel Zegler here. However, my favorite character of the main characters here is the character played by Julian Dennison. I have become a fan of Julian Dennison. I didn't love his character in Deadpool 2, but everything he's done since, he's really proven himself to have the comedic talent needed in comedies. And I really liked his performance here. He was easily the most fun character in this movie. I loved every bit of screen time he had. And then you got Kyle Mooney himself, the director of this movie. He's got a pretty fun character as well. I liked his performance. Now, some people have veered away from spoilers reviewing this movie, but screw it, it's 2025 now. If you wanted to see this movie, you would have seen it by now. Fred Durst has a cameo in this movie. And as a Limp Bizkit fan myself, I'm tired of the slander. I really loved seeing him show up in this movie. Of course, I didn't really watch anything past the first trailer of this movie, so I didn't know he was going to be in it. So seeing him in it, absolutely hilarious, absolutely surprising. And while I can get some of the disdain for Limp Bizkit, I really enjoy the fact that Fred Durst is able to cameo in movies like this and laugh at himself, make fun of himself a bit. I really enjoy that. So yeah, Fred Durst cameo, absolute highlight of the movie. Now, the story here, I'll get a bit in depth in the other section of this review, but this story here had potential. I like the designs of the robot monsters where all the appliances are fusing together to make supercomputer monsters. I thought they were pretty cool designs. I also like the zaniness of what they were going for. But again, I'll get to that a little later. How it was all executed. You do get some pretty cool kills in this movie. I did enjoy the kills for the most part. And I really also enjoyed how they were able to capture the look of the 90s with the dial-up computers, the AOL chat rooms, the clothing of the time, the music of the time. I love how they were able to recapture the 90s in this movie. I thought they handled that very, very well, so I enjoyed that part about this movie. Now, that's about all for the good. On to the bad. And unfortunately, the whole plot of this movie just makes this movie one gigantic mixed bag. You got a pretty creative and cool concept. Y2K happens, and all the electronics in the world start fusing together to try and wipe out humanity. That sounds like a good setup for a horror comedy based around Y2K. Unfortunately, they don't do damn near enough with it for it to be as fun as it should be, but it also takes itself too seriously to even be considered a comedy. This is one of those really frustrating movies where it takes itself too seriously with the concept they have, but they also go too ridiculous in some spots where I just can't take it seriously. And that's just frustrating for a movie like this because it should have been a fun horror comedy, but it took itself too seriously. Now, another thing I did not like about this movie, once everything starts happening, all the appliances start going on their murder spree, the first major death in this movie is the best, most entertaining character in the movie. Now, again, spoilers if you still haven't seen this movie and for some reason want to see it. They killed Julian Dennison's character way too early in this movie. I'm like, I wish we could have had a whole movie with this guy and not Jaden Martell, because I like Jaden Martell in this movie, but once Julian Dennison's character gets killed off, his character is just kind of flat and boring the rest of the movie, and I hate that. I hate to say that, but his character is so boring once his comedic relief friend gets killed off. And I love Rachel Zegler as well, but I'm sorry, I do not buy her and Jaden Martell as a couple in this movie. Their whole chemistry just was not there, in my opinion. There's one scene where they look at each other a certain way, and that's it. But just about every major character death in this movie is one of the more entertaining characters in the movie, and then we're left with the bare bones, more boring characters up until Fred Durst is introduced in the third act. I'm like, oh, finally, the savior of this movie has arrived. But, yeah, I just was not pleased with this movie as much as I wanted to really enjoy it. So, on from the bad, on to the final thoughts. I was disappointed in this movie. I wanted to love it. They should have gone more with the concept, but they just didn't. Y2K is a disappointing mixed bag of a movie. It should have gone sillier, and it just didn't, so I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. So that was my thoughts on Y2K. Have you seen this movie? Let me know down in the comments what you thought about it if you have seen it. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.